Welcome back to the To Be Better podcast. Before we get into the intro, we have a little bit of a disclaimer that we need you to hear.
We are not the experts of your life. You are.
We believe that most relationships can be saved. However, both parties have to want it, and both parties have to be willing to do the work.
So we speak in generalizations. If it applies to 90% of the population, and you're part of the 10% that it doesn't, it can be adapted to fit the narrative you're going with.
And it's up to you to make that adaptation. It's not up to us to cater to every single living being on the planet. We just want to get the information out there, and you can make it applicable to your life as you see fit.
So whether you decide to stay or decide to leave, you still have to make the changes that are necessary to grow.
If you fail to do the work, you're going to fail in your next relationship. So why not do the work now before quitting?
All right, so in emailing us, you are asking us for our unbiased, unfiltered opinions. If you're not ready to hear our opinions, do not email us.
And there are certain topics that we will not discuss on this podcast, such as domestic violence, SA, or other assaults and addiction.
Or children being abused.
Speaking of the emails, if you guys are going to send us an email, please be as detailed as possible. Take a second to proofread what you have sent and make sure that you have punctuation, because if you have one long paragraph that is a run-on sentence and it is a difficult thing for us to read, we're not going to sit down and retype your email just for us to be able to read it on the podcast. It will get moved into a rejected folder and we will never see it. And last but not least, if you're not interested in having your email read on our podcast, do not submit an email. We do not do direct emailing answers. It is a scratch our back. We scratch yours. You send email for our content. We give you the opinions that you're asking for. And if you would like to have your email submitted, you can send it to tobebetterco@gmail.com. The number 2, bebetterco@gmail.com. And we are back.
We're back.
I'm so glad we got tables next to us now.
Me too. It's very nice to have.
To not have to reach the floor.
Yeah.
It's been a day.
It's been a day, yeah. I mean, less of a day for me, but it's definitely been a day for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking going through it today.
I'm so sorry.
Episode 13 of the side piece.
Ooh, I love that number.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I screenshotted... I need to pay somebody to take over all of my social media.
Yeah.
Both the shop, Instagram, Facebook. I need to delete my Facebook altogether. Mm-hmm. I can't. It's too much.
It is really too much.
Too much going on right now.
I've been thinking about deleting my personal Instagram.
Yeah. I locked mine up. I haven't logged into my personal Instagram since we created the Sinful Images one, other than to lock it because of the amount of people that were following me and starting to send me messages on there.
Yeah.
My Chris Burkett photography one is still active because if I ever actually make a run for photography again, I've already got like 1,600 people on there. I don't want to lose that. Mm-hmm. But other than the Key West photos, like I haven't posted on any of my social. I post to the To Be Better one, the To Be Better podcast, Instagram, more than anything else that I do. I don't even get on the Sinful Images one anymore unless I see there's a message. Mm-hmm. And it's normally just to clear the notification so that it goes off my phone because I don't care.
Right.
So episode 13, this is a screenshot conversation. Actually, I'm going to back up a little bit. I have a couple of things. Now that I opened my phone, I just saw a comment thing that I want to get into too.
Okay.
So I'll get into that and then I'll get into the conversation leading in the side piece because I've noticed that we are on a trajectory with the side pieces right now. And things are kind of like going in succession, which is kind of nice. Succession?
I don't know. I'm going to need an elaboration.
Going in order. Well, we did. Okay. So I guess I'll put that down for now. We did the side piece, dating. Mm. We've done, which was a courting dating conversation. We did a conversation about the work that needs to be done in between dating, which was in a live stream for the Apologies Love Languages, which we're clipping and making an actual standalone video. And while we were doing episode 22's premiere, people started inundating the premiere chat with questions that follow suit.
Okay.
So we did the courting dating phase as one. Then we did the working on yourselves in between dating. This conversation is going to lead into when to make a partner a priority over family members and things like that. And then we have another one that was an email that was sent in that I think is going to be the next side piece that talks about like the prep work of moving in. Like we're getting ready to take the next step.
Okay.
What are the conversations? Those kind of things. So things are going in order, and it just kind of worked out that way. It wasn't planned. I mean, they're a little out of order because technically you should do the work before you start courting dating.
Yeah.
But we had already recorded that one when it went into that thing. But I'm going to go old school today, and I screenshotted a TikTok conversation that I had, and I want to address it on the pod.
Okay.
So we had a conversation on a split the difference episode where you were talking about the most active thing that you can do with your partner is listening. And I had an opportunity to make sexy time jokes.
You did.
And make it flirty and like be a pervert to my wife while everyone else watched, because people genuinely think that shit's funny because we both fall apart when it starts happening.
Yeah.
But you made a comment. My brain went in the gutter. I'm like, I'm running with it. And I did. And I got shitty comments about our flirting that had nothing to do with our flirting, because you said active thing is it's the active listening is the most active listening is the most active thing you can do. And I'm like, cardio, sexy time cardio, because you're sweaty, you can't breathe, you can't walk. Like,
Yeah.
it was funny. Fucking TikTok, man. Somebody said, and I would like to also preface and say I love you guys, because the minions went hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They instantly, like, as soon as I commented, they're like, I'm like, yes. This person wrote, I hate how he tried to convince you of something that you know isn't true.
That sentence doesn't make sense to me. What were you trying to convince me of that wasn't true?
That sexual cardio is more active than listening, because I was trying to make sexual jokes and be perverted. I wasn't trying to convince you of shit. I was trying to turn the conversation into sexy time.
I need one moment. So they're saying an opportunity for you to have a genuine, intimate moment with your wife and have a flirty moment that's keeping our marriage alive is you trying to convince me of something I know that's not true.
I don't think that they even realized that we were flirting and like doing that. I don't know how that was not like.
So if there was a misunderstanding, you don't understand what's happening, you should ask to clarify.
Right.
That would be the move.
It gets worse.
Okay.
She then goes on to say, I also have a hard time retaining, which is a key component of active listening. I have ADHD and can sometimes hear my partner and then not actually hear them, having to ask them 5 times what they said. So you're telling me that you have a hard time actively listening to your partner with your hearing, and you also can't pay attention to what's going on in videos and not watch the video 5 or 6 times to actually catch what's happening, because what you are addressing has nothing to do with what's actually happening in the video.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
So my response was, laughing my fucking ass off, tried to convince of something by playing and turning the conversation into a flirty sex joke. Yeah, I'm really trying to skew her thoughts.
I mean, you did.
Yeah. I skewed them. I took them from what you were trying to talk about in the book to dirty, perverted, you filthy.
Filthy.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
I have managed to stay out of the comment section for months.
Yeah, until today.
Because we both posted flirty videos.
Yeah.
That were fun, and I wanted to get an uplifting, like, I love you guys, and without fail, every fucking time I go to the comment section, I'm like, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you should drink toilet water, you're an idiot. And like, it makes me truly have a disdain for social media.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like being on it. I don't like being interactive with it. With TikTok, I'm just posting the videos, interacting with the people who are genuinely like a part of the community. Then I just dip out. Once it hits a certain mark of views or a certain amount of comments, I stop checking.
Yeah. See, I normally do too.
Yeah.
You know that on that video that you posted, where I like had that mental meltdown and had to look away from you, I made a comment about how I walk away from people that don't do well with social cues. When I'm done with a conversation and I have tried to stop the conversation and it continues, or like you don't understand that I'm done talking to you, I'm going to walk away from you.
Right.
I don't care who you are. I will try to end the conversation politely and then walk away. I can't believe I even have to fucking say this to
I
people.
know.
People were like, I can't believe you would do that. What if they had autism and blah, blah, blah. And like the conversation went to me being mean to a kid because I call everyone younger than me a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
You call people your age a kid.
I do. That's the way I talk.
It is.
It really is the way I talk.
It is.
But they were like, you're being mean to a special needs person. I'm like, my fucking wife is on the spectrum and so is one of my kids, you fuckface. Like, do you tell me you don't watch the pod without telling me you don't watch the pod?
Right. What gets me is that this person was almost 30.
Yeah, he was.
And like you said, you try to end the conversation politely. He wasn't taking the hint of, okay, I'm done with this conversation. So instead of being a fuckface to him and saying something like, okay, that might be too harsh, you just walked away.
Yeah. And I'm okay with doing that.
Yeah.
The issue that I have in that is there's nowhere in the story of what we were talking about that indicated that that person had any type of special needs.
Right.
Yeah,
they just jumped to that conclusion.
Right. He was a 30-year-old neckbeard who spent his entire life playing video games and has very, very little human interaction. Mm-hmm. That's the actual facts of the story. I've known this person for a long time. There's absolutely nothing fucking wrong with him other than he doesn't have a whole lot of real life friends. Everything is done over video games. Mm-hmm. Video games destroy your social interactions because
really
you don't have human cues. You're only listening to the audible pieces of a conversation.
And you can also do whatever you want because they can't see you.
Right. It changes the way that you interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody in that comment section that wanted to jump on that bandwagon all went to special needs, or it was autism and ADHD.
Yeah.
And one of the people in there follow both of us, and they were like, these two really are assholes, to be honest. And I'm like, then why are you following us? Like, if you really think that low of us, why are you on here following our content?
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. As somebody who is autistic, I will tell you, like, all right, we need to wrap this conversation up. I need to get going. Mm-hmm. And you continue talking. I am going to walk away. I just told you. I am done with this conversation. I have things I need to do. We've been speaking for 30 minutes. I tried to end it 5 minutes ago, and you're still talking.
Yeah.
If you don't stop, I will walk away in the middle of that conversation. You're going to learn a lesson of, okay, when someone says they're done, they're done.
Yeah. You're better than I am. I do the things like check the watch, check the phone, send a text message real quick, like, yo, call me. So I can be like, yo, I got to take this, and I can walk away. I don't always do that, though. Me walking away from someone when I start to get annoyed is better for them.
Right.
It's safer for them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The amount of people who think that I'm just running around bullying special needs kids, people, adults, kids. I got to really stop doing that because now people think that I am actually bullying kids. Dude was fucking like 29 years old.
Yeah. What's crazy, what is even more crazy about this is that these are people you've known for years.
Yeah.
In a store that you owned where you interacted with them. Everybody there knows you have BPD.
Yeah.
Everybody's aware that you walking away was the best option in that scenario.
Yeah.
He probably even realized, was like, damn, I did go to a little bit too far. Next time I should probably just not. When you have a bigger picture, it's crazy how things change.
Right. So I wanted to bring all of this up because you and I are both very anti-media outlets. We both get our news from like independent news sources or podcasts that are previous news anchors.
Yeah.
And every time you see anything political in the news, right or left, whoever's posting it has chopped it up to manipulate their point. Mm-hmm. By doing what we're doing on YouTube and chopping it for TikTok and chopping it for YouTube Shorts, it pulls a whole lot of things out of context, and we are turning ourselves into those people. We are doing it to ourselves. We are effectively media ourselves. We are media-ing.
I don't know, and I hate all of it.
But we are.
Right.
Because when they're like, so-and-so said this, and they play the clip, and it's part of a 15-minute conversation, and show you 30 seconds of it, of course, it's going to look real bad. Because it's out of context. We are literally doing that to ourselves by pulling shit out of context and sticking it on clips for TikToks.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm aware that they're not getting the full context. That's why it doesn't bother me much anymore.
Still annoys me, though.
Yeah. I'm okay with people thinking I'm an asshole.
I am, too. But there's an extent of that asshole. Like, if you think that I'm running around picking on autistic kids, come the fuck on.
No, people know who you are. The people who are really dedicated to the community and want to be a part of what we have going on, they know who you are.
Yeah.
They know the lengths that you go to just protect children in society. Come on.
Yeah. Still annoying. And it's the jumping to conclusions.
That
Like, you
just
think
says-
if this was an Olympic event, people on
yeah.
TikTok would be fucking gold medal winners. with
That's
the
how
way
they live
jump to
their life,
conclusions.
though.
I know.
That's how they live their life, jumping to conclusions constantly like that. I couldn't imagine the amount of misery and grief, the anxiety that they have. No, thank you.
Just living in that mindset.
No, thank you. I used to live in that mindset. I was jumping conclusions like a fucking athlete.
Yeah. You had a gold medal in jumping to conclusions.
I was able to get over hurdles, and there was no stopping me jumping.
There's no stopping you.
It was bad. I sabotaged so many relationships, so many job opportunities by jumping to conclusions. And I was riddled with anxiety and misery. And I felt like my life was never going to get any better. And I was a woe is me. Where's my luck in life? Must be nice.
Oh, you're a victim.
Yeah.
I want to do a victor, like the word victor, and then the line, and then victim underneath of it.
I like that.
Victor over victim. As a t-shirt.
I like that, yeah.
Or a sticker, maybe a sticker instead.
I want that as a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Can I have it on a hoodie?
We should do hoodies. Although it's getting so hot. Doing a drop for hoodies in the middle of summer is probably not the smartest move.
I like my indoor hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You want hoodies? Leave it in the comments. All right, going back to my photo album of things that I've screenshotted. Here's a screenshot. We hit number 6 last week, or maybe it was last week, whatever the chartable email that I got is.
Okay.
We are number 6 in Apple Podcasts for relationships
Holy shit.
in America. Number 6 in
Number
America.
6.
Yep. We are like slowly making our way down the top 10. We are number 7. I'm sorry. That went down 7 slots. I almost misread that and gave you guys false data. We are number 58 overall on Spotify.
Overall on Spotify?
In the United States.
No fucking way.
We are in the top 100 on Spotify for overall podcasts in the United States.
Holy shit.
Yep. We were 60 last week. It's dropped 2 spots. How insane is that? We are also number 39 in the United States for America, for society and culture.
I need you to pause because I didn't hear you. There are more than 5. Oh, wait, hang on. That's titles. They have 5.5 million podcasts on their platform.
Yeah.
And we are what number?
On Spotify?
On Spotify.
Number 58 in the United States.
Oh, in the United States. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the top 100. When you think about that, we're 5 months into what we're doing. Like, tell me that's not a mental victory. We're in the top 100. That blows my mind.
What an accomplishment.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep. And number 6 in Apple Podcasts for relationships.
Number 6 for Apple Podcasts. We're in
Yep.
the top 10 on Apple.
Yep. On Spotify, holy shit. Okay, you ready for this number?
Okay.
On Spotify, for the United States of America Society and Culture, we're number 9. So we broke the top 10 on Spotify for a stat too. That's the first time I've seen that one. It's doing the thing. Like the podcast is doing its thing for people that are just streaming instead of listening on YouTube.
That's crazy.
And as much as I want to be like, guys, go to YouTube because we make money off advertising dollars and stuff from YouTube easier than we do from the pod, that's now monetized. So much so that Spotify reached out to us this morning and asked us if we wanted to change from what we're currently using to their advertising platform. And they want to do a phone call with me where they break down the CPM data and all that nonsense. And as much as like I want to have that meeting to find out if I could potentially make more money than what we're making on Spotify or on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, I don't know if I want to go through all that.
It's a lot.
It is. Like, I don't want to be on the phone with people. You know what I mean? Like, I understand they're trying to sell me on coming over to their platform and how it's going to make me money, but like...
I can do that phone call and just get the information.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to do it today in like the next 30 minutes. I just left them red. So I will respond when we're done and be like, sorry, I was recording. We can do it tomorrow kind of thing. But I also sent an email to my rep at iHeartRadio to find out what our CPM averages are, like our net, so that I can go to the people at Spotify and be like, all right, I'm already making this. So unless you can do better or you have some extra way for us to generate revenue doing what we're doing, I don't want it. iHeartRadio also reached out to us yesterday about doing live reads.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So instead of just doing the typical ads they put in, we read the ad. So we would sit down, do a typical podcast where we record an MP3 file and send it to iHeartRadio, and they just put it in or at the beginning or the end of our shit as a live read. So we would actually be the one advertising things.
I could have so much fun with that.
Mm-hmm. But they're going to give us a script and they give us products. So like if Freshly wanted us to do something, they would send us samples to try it so that we can actually talk about it and whether or not we like it. And it'd be dope.
Could you imagine reviews done by us?
No. No.
I would be so stupid.
Like, yo, this is the shit.
I might have to do like wardrobe changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though they can't see it because it's a podcast.
Oh, they won't be able to see it?
It would just be for the pods. It wouldn't be for YouTube.
Damn.
You could still do wardrobe changes if you want. We could be recording one day and you can get mad and be like, I can't even take this. I got to go change my clothes now. And like walk off camera and come back in a new outfit and be like, I feel so much better just by changing my clothes.
So that would have to be the one where I walk off and do my Gordon Ramsay walk-off talk.
I still don't know what that is.
I'll have to show you.
Okay.
You'll understand soon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So moving on to the actual episode now. Now that we had all of this nonsense.
Okay.
I feel better getting that TikTok shit out. I was really starting to harbor some hatred towards people.
I'm glad you let it go.
So during episode 22, I don't like this.
I know.
Every time I touch my face, I have to be like, it needs to get moved over here so that I can use my hand without having to be all weird about it. In episode 22, somebody asked, because, how do I preface this? In episode 22, somebody said that you and I are always saying that your partner comes first. Before your family, before everything. Your partner should be the number one priority. And in that episode, you were saying that this chick doesn't deserve to be a priority for her man because they're not married, or however that was worded. I don't remember. I got to be honest, I was only half paying attention because I don't like listening to myself speak.
I get that.
I jump into the premiere to watch the live chat. Very rarely do I actually watch what's being put on the screen or listen. There are times that my headphones are sitting on the desk so that I don't have to hear myself and I can just watch the chat during the premiere.
You want to know what I do?
What?
I pause the live or the premiere. I open up another window and drop it down so I can watch something on Netflix while I'm in the chat.
Yeah. That's smart. But somebody asked, when is it okay for us to start making your person a priority? And then somebody else asked again. Somebody else clarified. She said, this is from Discord, so I'm just going to read it verbatim. I posted in suggestions, thoughts, but since that's not relevant. At what point in a relationship do you put your partner ahead of your family, blood and or chosen, and make that known to all involved? What discussions, expectations, and boundaries should be laid out and had on all fronts? Examples as they can be modified. Semi-flip side, what are some situations where you need to accept that family will come first and you need to be there to support your person, i.e. the husband who didn't go with the wife to the ex's funeral? That was actually 2 episodes ago, I think. And then yesterday was the one where, by the time this comes out, it's going to be weeks, so never mind. Anyway, she said, obviously it's not an instant thing as respect must be built, and being controlling, possessive, or of your person doesn't help to build or, dude, I'm really struggling today, to build a rapport with others. Relationship dynamics play a part too. However, being involved with someone at one point, there needs to be a this is my person, respect it or leave, and not just a tag along family add-on afterthought. So the question after all of that, because I'm sure you guys all struggle to understand that with my horrible reading skills. If you are with somebody, at what point do you say, okay, this is my person. You guys have to accept that this is going to be the person that I'm going to be with forever. That's my plan. Respect it.
There's so many situations that can come from this.
Right. And this is why I didn't actually answer it in the chat yesterday, because you get 200 characters.
Right.
I'm not typing 900 boxes trying to explain this shit.
No. Ideal scenario. The first 2 years of dating with somebody is that obsession phase. Everything that's happening is happening with a lens on it, unless you've known them for years.
Well, we also know that even with knowing someone for years, that doesn't really matter.
I think it dulls it a little bit.
That was actually the email. That chick was friends with that guy for 17 years. And then they finally decided to make a run at something, and he wouldn't put her first. She expected to be put first immediately in everything. And then his sister had a miscarriage. That was the email.
Right.
But she had known that dude her entire life and still had issues with the relationship. Those rose-colored glasses weren't hindered or changed off of the first 17 years of them knowing each other because they weren't in a relationship and they weren't living together. They were just friends.
Right. But I still feel like you know that person better than you've known somebody for 6 months.
No, I agree.
So I think that there's a lot that's already taken care of like knowing who they are, knowing their values, knowing their morals.
I agree with that.
So that's what I mean by it's dulled a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's not this whirlwind of getting to know them as a person. You're getting to know them in a different aspect in a romantic way. So that rose tint is still there, but it's not as vibrant as it would be meeting like a stranger. I still think that changes people though. Going from friend to intimate. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would stand by the first 2 years. That is the trying to figure out if you guys have a solid enough foundation to build on. So once that 2-year mark hits and you guys start talking about getting more serious or moving in together, or you've already moved in together and things are going fantastic, then you really need to sit down and have a conversation of, okay, I'm thinking about, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And everything is going great. You guys have good communication. You have a healthy relationship. I mean, you're still going to have little disruptions and you guys are going to get under each other's skin. There's going to be annoyances.
Yep. Yes, there is.
That's all normal. It's all healthy. You're going to want to have a day of, I need to get away from you for a little bit. If everything is fantastic and you guys have that conversation of, we want to do this, at that point of having, we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, there needs to be discussion of engagement, of getting married, where we're going to be in 5 years. If there is never a discussion of, there are people who don't want to get married, and I understand that. But they want to have the commitment of a marriage.
Right.
So once that commitment is solidified of this is what we're going to do, this is our hard boundaries, at that point, it would be, you are my priority. We are deciding right now that we are no longer two, we are of one flesh, and we're going to live this life together.
So does that happen when you guys move in?
No.
Because in the same argument of all of that, I have a whole lot of scenarios. We talked about this a little bit while doing cardio, and since then my brain has just gone downhill until I started getting all those messages on my phone before we sat down. But from previous videos, if you watch the dating video and you've watched the love language one that we're going to, or the apology language one that we're going to upload, that was the working on yourself in between. By the time this comes out, that should be live. So if you do everything the way that we lay it out,
right?
Patron.
If
you do everything the way we laid it out, you court first. You get to know each other a little bit. You do the dating thing, or the courting thing where you're actually going out and meeting with them and having conversations, and then you decide to date and you start laying out expectations. And the dating thing goes to the moving in thing, and this is actually months or years before things get to that point. It's a very different scenario than meeting somebody at a bar or a club, and
or swiping
right.
Is it swiping right or is it swiping left?
I was agreeing with you.
I think it's swiping right.
Okay. Well,
Tinder.
My right was an agreement.
Oh.
I've never been on Tinder. I've never had a profile. The only thing I know about Tinder is my best friend is Shrek on there. He actually has a picture of Shrek and it says looking for my happily ever after.
I love that.
And I only know that because he showed it to me like 3 days ago and I thought it was fucking hysterical.
Yeah. So dating apps.
Right.
Fall into the meeting at the bar or whatever.
How many people do you know of that met their wife or husband at a bar or club and has a successful marriage? What do you think that percentage is? It's got to be low.
Define successful for me.
Happily married?
Because there could be somebody out there saying, I met my husband at a bar 22 years ago and we're alcoholics and we drink and fight, but we're happy.
Yeah, it's not success to me.
Okay.
That's toxicity.
Yeah, okay.
Damn, you really just went there with that. Now I have to think about what makes a successful marriage.
Yes.
Goal-oriented. You are each other's crutch. Your inappropriate behaviors are less than 10 out of 100. So like there's not thirst trapping and there's not inappropriate selfies going on the internet. There's not calling other women beautiful. There's
no sexting.
Right. By inappropriate behavior, I mean every once in a while driving, somebody might be like this as somebody's running down the street. That's inappropriate. You shouldn't be gawking at people.
Right.
I'm guilty of that though, because I talk shit about everyone in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Especially bicyclists. Fuck those guys. If you ride a bicycle on a road, I don't like you. I really don't.
Yeah.
Your little fucking spandex. Like, look at me. I'm on a bicycle with my helmet with a little fucking mirror on it. Like, I just want to run you over. Get the fuck off the road.
That's why they have the mirror.
Yeah, because of people like me.
I want to clarify. He's very respectful towards bikers on the road.
I am. I just talk shit about them. Talk shit about runners, too. In my head, they're all French.
I love running.
Every one of them. Look at me enjoying my run. Ha, ha, ha. Like, nobody enjoys running.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You're full of it.
It makes me feel accomplished at the end of it.
I enjoy running my mouth and my businesses.
We can tell.
Yep. Look at me in my little spandex. My clothing is so tight there's no wind drag. So, but of course they all have French accents in my head.
I can't breathe.
It's
you
just,
know there's somebody out there watching this right now going, "Oh, look at me, I'm on a podcast. I got a microphone."
Oh man, look at me. I'm a big guy with stupid tattoos on my face on a podcast. I love that. I love that. That's good. And you're right.
If you thought that, I have to know, please.
It's so funny. I gotta be honest, the whole running and biking thing is just because my cardio sucks and I'm kind of jealous that they can do that and it not hurt them. Running sucks.
I like running. You're right. It definitely, like, my hips get it, my knees. It's worth it though. I like the burn in my lungs afterwards.
I like watching you run.
Yeah.
I can drive behind you in the car just so that I can watch your hips and your butt jiggle. I'd be okay with that.
I would do that.
You'd have to wear really tight spandex though, so that I can talk French to you in my head while you're doing it. I could get a PA system. Like, oh, pick it up. Run faster.
Why is it making me want to do it?
I have no idea because we're stupid.
I'm
This
here
shit's
for
funny.
it,
Yeah. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. How did we get on that? How did that even happen? Like, we were talking about successful marriages, and here I am making fun of people who ride bikes and runners because I'm fat and don't want to do it.
Oh my God, what were we talking about? I wish we could pause and rewind.
Yeah.
Fuck. We were having a conversation of successful marriages.
Oh,
what makes it successful?
We got into the bar thing. Like, how many people actually do you think meet at a bar and have a successful marriage? And I was going to then ask, how many people do you think meet on dating apps that have successful marriages?
Well, let's define successful.
That's what we were trying to do before we side railed into me making fun of runners and bikers.
So I'm going to Google.
Bicyclists.
Let's see what Google says. So, per Google, a marriage is successful when there is an understanding and tolerance between couples. If two partners understand each other, no matter how crucial the misunderstanding they are faced with, they will be able to tolerate each other. When a marriage is successful, it will give room to establish a successful family.
So they're basing it based off of having a family? That's how they define a successful marriage? Can you read that again?
So a successful marriage is when there is an understanding and tolerance between couples. If two partners understand each other, no matter how crucial the misunderstanding they are faced with, they will be able to tolerate each other. When a marriage is successful, it will give room to establish a successful family. So it's saying that no matter...
I disagree with Google on that one. Simply tolerating your partner is not success. That's existing.
Right. Well, that's per Google, and we don't agree. So what is your definition of a successful marriage?
Integrity in within the marriage, so that there's no infidelity, none of that shit. Happiness, not all the time, but at least 80% of the time. Clear communication which includes understanding and like actually comprehending what the person is saying, because
Active listening.
apparently if I don't add the comprehension of the communication process, people are like, well, that's part of it. Yeah, because otherwise you're talking to a wall. Taking your partner into consideration and in all things, like not doing something that you know is going to put them in a bad spot. Like, there's obviously a much broader conversation that needs to be had there, but your person is a constant factor in your decision making.
I was going to say a constant variable in your life.
Yeah, constant factor in your decision making process, because you're not living for you anymore. You're living for another person, and the two of you are supposed to be working together to accomplish everything that you have in life. I mean, obviously, there's a whole lot more, but those are the ones that right off the top of my head that I think are a necessary factor to have a successful marriage.
Okay, so I would add
Intimacy.
I was going to say intimacy, the understanding to be each other's peace.
Do you think that would fall under the making sure that they are a factor in your decision making? Because you're intentionally not doing anything to disrupt their lives or your lives by the decisions that you're making for you?
I would say yes, but that's not what I meant by that.
Okay.
So what I meant by that was, I clearly see you're frustrated. I am going to make the choice to not roughen your waters.
Okay.
I'm not going to come by you in a jet ski and splash you with all of your own issues plus mine, or
Okay.
whatever else is happening in the house, or whatever happened in the kid's day, or whatever. I'm going to come over there in like a little kayak. Be like, hey, what's going on? You okay? You want some snacks?
Yeah. You want some snacks?
So I in that moment, no matter what I'm going through, I'm going to make the conscious effort
I get it.
to not be your piece in that moment.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. I get that.
I think so. What I mean by that is I guess that's making your partner a priority, or making their piece a priority. So we have just defined for us what a successful marriage means. I'm going to check Google and see if there's ever been a statistic done for how many people meet at a bar and get married.
Okay. While you do that, I'm also going to add that I think it's a matter of making your person a priority. Like I'm expanding on what I said about taking them into consideration in your decision making. That also includes or encompasses my partner is a priority thing. And there are times, which is what the entire conversation that we're going to have is about, where you have to put other things as the main priority in the moment, but that doesn't mean that your person is not a priority overall. And the prime example of that is, you are my priority, but if my sister had a miscarriage like that person did in the email that we read and called at 4:00 in the morning, and I had to get up and go deal with that, you're not going to hold resentment towards me because I'm going to take care of my family because my family needs me right now.
Right.
That's a basic understanding and like just being a compassionate human being. But I also know that because of who my sister is, that if that happened, you're getting out of bed and coming with me.
Yeah.
And that's not something that we would have to talk about. If I was upset, even if you didn't like my sister, I know that you would go because you would want to be my support system. So this is just healthy relationship shit.
Yeah. It's also a situation where, in a situation with a miscarriage, a man could never really understand the pain of that. They do experience a loss, but there's no but in that sentence. It's just different for a
Right.
woman because we're actually feeling the physical loss of it. And in that moment, a woman could feel more comforted by another woman.
Right.
Okay. So the amount of people who get married who have met at a bar is, I just Googled it, 8 to 10%. So 8 to 10% marriages are couples who have met at a bar.
Okay.
19% of them get divorced.
How does that work?
So in that 10%, that 10% is now 100%, right? 19% of that gets divorced.
That actually seems like a really low number. That can't be. There's no way that's right. because more than 50% of marriages end up in divorces currently. So like, I don't know. There had to have been like a small study. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The bar thing doesn't really matter. I think that that's not a conducive place to really meet people to like settle down.
Right.
I think that, if you're going out to bars to have a good time, you're not looking for longevity. You're looking for a good time. And that was the culture before the swipe thing. And now the swipe things happen. You can forego the bar, save yourself a little money, smash and grab and call it a night.
Yeah.
So, and I don't remember why I even brought that up either. So I apparently am forgetting today also. Okay, so aside from all of that nonsense, at what point we have side railed so much that I don't even remember where we were.
Yeah.
I really don't. I know that we were trying to define what a successful marriage was. And I don't remember why we were trying to define a successful marriage. Because we did. And then we started Googling shit to find out percentages, which I don't believe those Google stats are right. They're just not. There's no way.
So you said at what point does that happen? And then you read the example from the email or whatever.
Oh, I remember why I did that.
Okay.
Because they're not married. They're just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So because they can't believe we got that far off, dude. Holy shit. Because they're not married.
Right.
At what point is it okay to put your person that you are just dating above your family?
So it depends on how long you've been together.
Right. Well, see, that was the argument that was going on in the premiere is they were wanting time frames. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way.
So there's too many factors. Way too many factors. You could be together for 1 year. Together for 1 year, known each other for 4 years, and you guys have life figured out. Like, you've already decided that you're going to be together, that you are already discussing marriage. You guys have looked at engagement rings. Like, shit's happening. At that point, yes, that is your family. This is the person that you are choosing to live the rest of your life with. You are no longer two separate people once you have made that commitment of a life partner.
Right.
If it's been 5 years and you guys are rocky, tumultuous, you're on again, off again, you're drinking every single night, you're choosing activities over them, you're having guys' night over spending time with your girl, there's no loyalty there. There's no, you're my priority. You come before all else. I am building my life with you. Yeah, no, there's no time frame for that.
I think that you hit on what it comes down to in that statement, and it's the loyalty aspect of it. Here's here's a thought. You're right. It really does come down to the loyalty, because when you're going to, like, because loyalty is not just given.
No.
It's earned, and it's earned over time, and it's earned through trials by fire, and like having real conversations and realizing that you're going to make a choice to do that and be that loyal person to somebody.
And you're going to upset a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. So here's the thought. We know somebody. We actually know a couple people who got married within a year of knowing somebody.
Yes.
And some of them have kind of rocky marriages. Some of them have dope marriages. Like, people are individuals, and you can't one size fits all this conversation, because it doesn't work that way. You're going to have some people that are very dedicated and willing to put their person above everything and live for that person, and the person on the other side of that relationship is not. And at that point, you can't live for them like that. If they're not willing to match that, you are giving without getting.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, and we say it all the time that you can only give so much. Takers can always take. There's not enough when it comes to takers. They'll take. And eventually there's nothing left for you to give. So here's a thought. Let's say that two people had previous marriages.
Okay.
Did all the dirty work. And this is not an us thing. This is like an actual, I'm not metaphoring us. This is an actual conversation. They did all the dirty work. Like, they really delved in and took all the accountability, realized the flaws, their shortcomings, what they did wrong, what they could have done better, all of that shit moving forward, so that they know what they want. They know what they're not going to settle for. They know what their boundaries are. Like, they fucking did the work. And they happen to meet each other and hit it off. They go the first 4 dates, the courting dates. where they're not actual dates. There's no physical contact. You're just having friendly drinks or going to coffee or whatever. Or you're going, just to dinner. Not actual drinks like drinking, but like drinks.
Right.
Which is why I clarified with coffee. I hate that I have to even do that. Especially because we literally just said don't meet at a bar, which might get cut.
Yeah.
This is why we side railed so hard. Apparently, my brain's just not on it today.
Yeah.
So they do all the work. They go 3 or 4 dates. During those 3 or 4 dates, they have disclosed all of their trauma, all of it, everything that they think they have. Like, I'm not diagnosed with schizophrenia, but I think I might be fucking schizophrenic, even though they don't. That's not a thing.
Right.
They just think that it could be. Like they are leaving no stone unturned because they are dating for marriage. They're not wasting their time. They're not trying to become intimate with somebody to not have longevity. They want to find their person and run that shit versus playing the dating game in and out of relationships, getting more and more trauma, more and more baggage, wasting years of their lives for someone who potentially is just not going to want them. Right. So 3 or 4 dates in, both parties done the work. Both parties dumped all their trauma, talked about all their accountability, talked about therapy, all the books they've read, whatever. They start dating right away. Four dates. So call it a month of courting. They start dating. Dating phase is fucking incredible. They don't have sex right away because we both agree that should be put off a little bit. So let's say that month 2 goes by. They've been dating. There's been necking. Sex happens at second month. Sleepovers start happening by the end of the 3rd or 4th month. Like there's more. Like there's a toothbrush in your bathroom. Like things are getting real fucking serious. I think that it's safe to say that by that 6th, 7th, 8th, maybe even 10th month mark, if things are going that well, you have a pretty good understanding of who this person is. There's been nothing that's been undisclosed. They've been completely transparent with everything. If you're around each other that much, you're going to eventually realize if there's things that bother you about this person. They've left a toothbrush at your house. They're obviously staying there quite a bit. I think that in those early phases, you can tell enough about a person to decide whether or not you want to marry them. I do. I also believe that rose-colored glasses is still there, and you will overlook certain red flags. But I think that if you are that transparent and you've already had horrible relationships and you've done the work and you know what you're looking for, you're not going to overlook the things that you've overlooked in the past. Might be new shit that you got to figure out coming forward, but it's no different than realizing that if you learn to overcome obstacles, those obstacles aren't going to be obstacles anymore.
Right.
So in that case, do you think that it would be safe to say that in an 8 to 10 month scenario, you know that you want to spend the rest of your life with this person? If they asked, you'd say yes. At that point, would you be willing to put them as a priority above everything else because you think that's where it's going? Or if that conversation was had, what if they engaged? What if they asked you to, like, you I know these are a whole lot of hypotheticals. Right. It really is. But if that was us,
okay,
if that scenario was us, and we were 8 months in, and I hit you with a ring, got on one knee, made a whole spectacle of the deal, and was like, I know that you are my person. I want you forever. And I gave you the ring and you accepted it. And we started making plans for a wedding after 8 months. Would you put me first? With everything, if that was us. Because that's the perfect case scenario. I honestly can't think of a better case scenario than that.
So with that case scenario, and with it being us and the discussions that we had, and I know what we discussed, like,
right.
Yeah, I would. Fuck.
That is the perfect case scenario. When you think about it, that really is the perfect case scenario. How many people have actually gone that route though? I really just broke your brain with that wink, didn't I?
I can't look at you. Oh, my back is tingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look really good with a hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I can't. It's so hard.
Back on topic, woman.
I don't remember the topic.
I kind of don't either. This episode has been a shit show.
With the conversations that we had, they were really hard conversations. There were a couple that I cried. they were tough, having realizations and recognizing that you're not going to put up with bullshit. It made me have to become a better woman.
I need you to elaborate on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I have to cut it, I will, but.
So I was definitely working on who I was as a person before you and I started talking.
Mm.
And speaking with you and having those tough conversations and hearing about your past and the things that you wouldn't tolerate, like a lot of it was the shit that I used to pull. And I was like, damn, like I know I'm working on myself now, but this man is really going to fucking keep me in check. He's not going to let me fall back into my toxic ways and the self-pity and the victim mindset bullshit.
I have so many questions, but I have to be very careful how to word them because I don't want to throw out negativity. The fuck was that? Oh, Discord's open. Damn it. All right. So the question that I have, you said that I very much made it clear that there were certain things that I was not going to tolerate.
Yeah.
When you word it that way, it is me laying out the expectations of what is and what is not acceptable to me in a relationship. Mm-hmm. When it's done that early on, it's not a controlling thing.
No, it's not.
It really is. This is the way it's going to be if you want to be with me. And if you can't accept that, kick rocks.
Right.
You had similar scenarios. Like we had discussions that were, and like we were on the same page. Like we realized like, you're right. Like this is dope. Like knowing that you're not going to be high angle selfies showing your tits to everyone, every opportunity you get on social media means that I don't have to worry about you doing shit like that. I don't have to worry about the thirst traps. Like, so when we had that discussion, you're like, no, I get it. And I was like, I don't do this shit either. So like, you don't have to worry about that. I don't like that kind of shit. Like moving on. Did that affect the way that our relationship went for you in the beginning? Like, were you worried that you may fall into old ways or say or do something that you were working on with yourself that you thought might have sabotaged our relationship?
No, it was more of it wasn't really even a concern. It was more of just like, this is it. I am now committing my life to a man who is not going to let me slip up. He's not going to let me get sloppy. And that was more of a self-dedication to being the best version of who I am and putting in the work and the effort to it. Because I know if I start slipping up and becoming lazy and not helping around the house and not doing dishes and just living in a pigsty and not caring about your feelings, not being intimate with you, doing whatever I wanted to do, spending the money frivolously without talking to you about it, you would boot me out. That would definitely be I guess it was just more of a commitment to myself of, you really do have to be a better person.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Like hearing you say that to me is a lot to process right now. So
like bad?
No, it's just, so we've made it very clear that the divorce is not a conversation for us.
Right.
Our life is dope as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like it's work. We work to have this amazing life. There are days, for example, Wednesday night, I was up until midnight in Discord doing the men's group chat. I walked out into the living room and saw you sleeping on the couch.
That was
Sunday. What is today?
Today's Tuesday.
Okay, you're right. It was Sunday. I never know what day it is.
Yeah.
It was Sunday. So Sunday night, I was in the men's group on Discord in a live call with 7 of the other guys until midnight. And I came out and saw you sleeping on the round chairs or on the couch. You were actually on the couch. I felt guilty for that. And we knew going into the men's group that the live calls are going to be at nighttime. And every once in a while, late nights at work are going to happen. It just happens to be in our house. We also don't go to bed without each other. Mm-hmm. So instead of you going to bed, you actually waited for me on the couch. And there's 2 scenarios there. I'm going to walk out and see you on the couch and feel guilty that I was in here on a live call until midnight knowing you slept on the couch. Knowing full well that you understand what's happening and that you are going to be doing similar things in the future because of the women's group. Mm-hmm. Get that. The guilt is on me. Like, it sucks seeing my wife sleeping on a couch waiting for me to do something. That can also tie into like men who go out and come home, find their partner waiting for them in the living room instead of being in bed. Mm-hmm. The other side of that is if you actually went to bed and I was in here on that live call until midnight and I walked out there and you were in the bed, I'd have been like, oh, fuck. Like, I really let her down. She's in bed without me. This is the first time this has ever happened, blah, blah, blah. It'd been a whole different feel bad. Neither one of those scenarios felt like a win for me. I also know that you fall asleep on the couch at like 8 o'clock at night. We could be watching TV and like, I'll look over and you're like, and I'd be like, you want to go to bed? And you're like, yeah. Sometimes it happens at 8 o'clock at night.
It does.
So I know logic brain tells me that you sleeping on the couch like that means that you fell asleep while you were watching TV. It wasn't really that big of a deal because you sleep on the couch a lot.
Yeah.
Not really that big of a deal. But there was that part of me that was like, damn, I should have fucking ended that live call 2 hours ago and we could have went to bed. I have obligations to other people as well as to my wife. And here's how this plays out, because this is, you are my priority all the time. But this scenario was a work-related scenario that had to be my priority on Sunday night. So, because that's what we're discussing, and sometimes that has to happen, how you look at things matter, right? So knowing that this is the way that we generate our revenue, and knowing that the men's group is the way that I'm benefiting, the men are benefiting, and we're making money from it, me staying up late on that live call is me making you a priority because I'm providing for the house. You sleeping on the couch should not have been a guilt thing for me. If I did that every single night for just because I'm playing video games or I'm on fucking YouTube watching videos or on Facebook fucking around while you're out there waiting for me to go to bed, that's a problem. That's not the same thing. I guess the whole point in all of that is that if you look at that situation, you can see it from two separate scenarios. One, my wife fell asleep on the couch until midnight because I was on live calls working. Old boy worked until midnight. Like, so damn, you know, she should have went to bed without him. Like, how dare him work that late? There could be a whole lot of things in that aspect. But if you look at it from, he has to provide for his family, and this is the way that they do that. Him working 1 or 2 nights a week until 2 or 1 midnight, whatever, is not the end of the world because I'm still providing. I'm doing it because I am trying to be that guy for us. And in doing that, I am making you a priority. You think I want to be up until midnight on fucking live calls? No. I don't. I really fucking don't. I am very curious to see how this all edits. Yeah. Because we are really all over the place today.
We really are, yeah. Did all of that make sense? Was that stupid of me to say? Like, being with you is forcing me to commit to myself?
I don't think it was stupid at all. Okay. It's a lot to process.
Did it make sense?
It did.
Okay.
It is a lot to process. It made total sense because there's going to be people that are going to go, that's controlling. Him setting such high standards and knowing that if you don't fail, he's going to leave you. Why would you want to live like that? Which is why I brought up the fact that we don't do the divorce conversations.
Right.
Dude, we are really all over the place. You know that we don't do the divorce conversations and we don't joke about it. But we also know that we have standards.
Right.
We both have standards. You have standards that you expect of me, and I have to strive to meet those. I know very realistically that if I started doing shit that your exes did, or I stopped being the man that you married, there's a very real possibility that our life would change. And it could be for the worst. Because you're going to go, this is not what I wanted out of life. This is not who you said you were. You're proving that you can't hold up the things that you said you were going to do. And then the other things that we don't discuss might be on the table because I'm fucking failing you as a husband and doing a bunch of shit that you told me in the beginning were hard limits. So in that aspect, having divorce off the table and it not being a conversation and not being one of those things, that also comes down to us respecting each other and wanting our marriage to work.
Right.
Because there are days that I don't want to work. There's days that you don't want to get out of bed. There's days I don't want to get out of bed. We have to do that shit. We have to live for each other because we want to make our marriage work. So going back to the topic that we were actually supposed to be speaking on, because this entire thing is a fucking mess. If that scenario happened with the engagement at the 8-month mark and you made the decision to start living for your person and he or she decided that they were going to start doing the same thing, what is the things that would happen to make you go, wait a minute, maybe this was a bad decision?
Like actions from the other person or... starting to catch them in white lies.
So white lies, as in like small fibs?
Yeah, why would you lie about that? Why would you not just tell me?
Right.
That's
If they lie about something small, they're going to lie about something big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miscommunications that happen often. I'll be home by 6 p.m. and then 2.5 hours go by, and that's frequent.
That's not me. That's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lying in my opinion. Because if I say I'm gonna be home at 6, 5:30 rolls around and I haven't left yet, I know I'm not gonna be home by 6. Phone call, simple phone call. Like, hey, I'm still at work. I don't know when I'll be home. That's a lot better than just showing up at fucking 9 o'clock at night being like, yeah, sorry, last 3 hours I was doing stuff. It's communication.
Yeah. Starting to notice I don't do the basic necessities around a household, like doing dishes. Like they're not capable of doing that without me there. Poor hygiene. So if they were doing it up in the beginning to woo me over and they had good hygiene and like I was really impressed by their smile or they always smelled nice, and then we moved in together and that shit started slacking, that's a red flag to me.
So you're telling me on camera that I need to make sure that my hygiene is in check when I get depressed. Got it. That's actually how I know my depression's starting to really swing.
I know, yeah.
We've talked about that a lot though. And I'm honest about it.
Yeah, no, there are times that I force you into the shower.
It's so fucking stupid.
I like how you smell after you get out of the shower.
Yeah.
It's not just your soap, it's, I don't know, the water on your skin. Like how the earth smells when it rains. You're like how the earth smells when it rains. I'm flustered.
I can tell.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm semi-brain dead today. I can't stay on task.
Okay.
And we're like an hour and a half into this at this point. So I got to be honest, we should probably wrap it up soon. And then I need to edit to clip this down to see if it's even relevant because this may not even be usable.
Okay.
This might be a Patreon episode where we just talk shit and it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
I don't think that there's a time frame that any of this can work. I really think it comes down to, like you said, loyalty, because it's a big one.
Commitment.
And compatibility. Because if you have one person that's done all the work and one person that doesn't or hasn't, you're not going to have that growth and that attachment.
No.
So then my final thought on this is that there's no answer.
Yeah, there's not a time frame for it. It's all about mentality.
Right. It comes down to the two people having the conversations, doing the work, and actively making a decision that that's what they want out of life.
Yeah.
This conversation didn't go nowhere near as like I planned it, like thought it would.
Yeah.
I really thought we'd be hitting each other with scenarios and doing the back and forth and doing a thing, and instead we've just side railed like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that was my goal. I thought we were gonna do super dope scenarios back and forth, and we side railed for 35 minutes and wondered how the fuck we got here.
Do you want to start over?
Oh my God. No, because I feel like a lot of that was
valid.
good conversation.
Yeah.
I do not want to start
We're
over.
such a fucking mess, dude. Oh, man. What are some of the things that you would look for in the dating phase that would immediately push you away from somebody? Like underlying things, not the obvious shit. Like things that you catch during conversations or things that, even during the dating phase, before you move in with somebody, that you would be like, okay, this is a real fucking problem. I don't want to do this. Like this moving in is not a good idea. This needs to end.
Constant invalidating of me.
Such as?
Say we're out at dinner and I say something in passing about what happened at work and how it frustrated me. And then they commented back of, you're overly emotional. Or that's stupid to get frustrated about. I would make note of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you make note of that because you feel like they're talking down to you or because they don't care about what you're going through?
Both. That would something I would explore.
Okay.
I would wait to see how often it happens, if it evolves in any way. The way they chew. If they chew with their mouth open at every meal, I'm not.
Yeah.
It will not work.
That's funny.
I might make a comment once or twice and be like, do you always chew with your mouth open like that? Is that just a thing you do? It's not cute.
That's funny.
We should try chewing with our mouth shut. Let's give that a shot. See how that fits you.
I can hear you chewing. I hate that shit.
I hate it. I hate it so much. Sorry.
You hate what?
I just the lip smacking people do too.
That? Yeah. I actually hear that sometimes when I'm editing. The last episode when I didn't have nothing to drink and I was like, my mouth is so dry. It's because I kept hearing it every time I open my mouth. These microphones are really good mics. Yeah. So you can hear a lot. The reason I asked about the subconscious things, the subtle things that you would pick up on that would make you not want to move forward with somebody is because those small things, if you catch those during the 2-year dating phase when the obsession is still a thing, you might be able to realize that there are much deeper issues going on because those are small annoyances. And if you can catch that shit, subconsciously go, okay, this bothers me. It might make you want to step back and start looking at the person to find out what might actually be flaws. Yeah. I also think that when you meet somebody and you decide to start dating and you see the way that they are with other people and the relationships that they have with other people, you can see where their loyalty is. If you date somebody and they're a fucking busybody and they're gossiping, telling you everybody's business, they're not going to put you first.
Yeah, I'm good.
They're gonna gossip about you to other people in the beginning. I don't know.
I think they would gossip about you throughout the whole relationship. You know, everybody's gonna know your business.
Yeah,
I'm good on that. Yeah, if I'm on dates and I'm hearing about everybody's business but your own, that's a red flag. What else would I pay attention to?
You know, in this discussion, I realize that we have really, really fucking high standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we really do. And the more I think about it, because I'm over here, like, I am listening to you.
Yeah.
But I'm also having those internal dialogues because I figured you were going to ask me. So, like, I wanted to have at least 2 things that I could talk about. But, like, we've talked about all this on multiple pods. Like, this has been a conversation. But I'm sitting over here going, I wouldn't accept this. I wouldn't accept this. I wouldn't accept this. And now I realize that, like, there's no way that if I lived in the dating scene that I would have a successful dating.
No.
Wouldn't.
If you never graced my life and I was just out there still single with my kids, I would still be single with my kids. No way in hell I would try dating. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the reason I said that to answer your question is because if you weren't you and I wasn't me, and I'm just saying that if I met you and we went on it, you know, we started the courting phase, and I know that if I'm going to do this, it's because I want longevity. If I was just trying to find somebody to smash, like, that would be a very different scenario for me. But if I'm going to actually start going through the process of getting to know somebody and courting them and dating them, and we had a dope fucking first date, I am stalking the shit out of your social medias when I get home. And if I'm seeing overly done selfies, or if you're like, let me get you on Snapchat, or every single time you post a photo, there's 500 dudes in the comments going, hey girl, you look great, blah, 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 blah. And you're heart reacting and thinking all these people, like, there's not going to be a second date. Like, I'm not going to vie for that attention. And, like, that's an immediate no for me.
Oh yeah. I'm good on that.
And I'll take it a step further by saying that if you're reacting to those people in the comments, it's because you're trying to continue to get them to give you that attention.
Right.
Because if you ignore that shit, eventually those people will stop doing it unless they don't understand social cues. This also ties into when dudes send you compliments on the internet. If you respond to them, you're engaging. If you didn't have a thing, or you didn't think they were cute, or you didn't want to mess around with them, you would ignore the messages. 10 dudes could send somebody the same fucking message, and one of those 10 guys, if they are attractive or has something that girl wants, she's going to respond. And the other 9 are going to be a creep, even though they said the exact same thing that the 10th guy said. You know what I mean? Like, I think about shit like that. So the selfies and, like, the over sexualized appearance on social media would be a no for me.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, even if I saw constant selfies, like if I saw a selfie more than 3 times a week, I'm good. Like, that would be the end of it. I wouldn't try to date them at that point. And I would also see the memes they post. Like, I was really going through it over here a minute ago. If you're posting memes that have no real, like, content to them, and it's just stupid conversation and that you're posting it for jokes, like, I have to question
your intelligence,
your mental capacity, right? Or if you're posting political shit and you don't understand what's really going on. You know what I mean? Like, if you're one of those people that hear a bill called something and start bashing it on the internet, but didn't take the 15 minutes to actually read the bill, I don't want to have a conversation with you. Like, you're not somebody that I could wake up and have a morning conversation with while I'm still groggy and not want to choke the life out of you. Like, and I know that. And you would be the same way. Like, if I was one of those people that was super trivial, and wanted to talk nonsense first thing in the morning. And like, you thought that I was an intelligent person because of our dates, and I faked it. And then all of a sudden we wake up one morning and I start talking in Facebook memes. You'd be like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think about shit like that. I also wouldn't fuck with a woman who doesn't have a job or a career. Even though I want a stay-at-home wife, I don't want a stay-at-home wife that just wants to be taken care of, because there is work to be done still. So like, you had a career when we started dating. Like, you actually had a career that you could have gone anywhere in the world and worked if you wanted to. And you were starting to work on becoming a tattoo artist. So like, you could have really gone anywhere in the world and worked. The fact that you decided to be a stay-at-home mom when I asked you to is super fucking dope for me, but I know you have a work ethic. That work ethic matters, because if I'm grinding and trying to build businesses and grow our financial status, at the time it would have been my financial status, and you weren't working and you had 10 dudes on the side paying your fucking bills, I'm not doing that. Because then those 10 guys go away when you actually commit to me. Hopefully they go away. And now that's on me to take care of your lifestyle, because those dudes are no longer there because I'm expecting monogamy. And it doesn't mean that you're even messing with those dudes, because we see a lot of fucking content on the internet where women flat out were like, I would never sleep with any of these guys. They just know I need help and they help me.
Yeah, dudes just send money to send money.
Blows my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess I'm just old school mentality, because like, I don't want to deal with none of that nonsense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be with a dude who had an OnlyFans.
Damn it. I can't sell pictures of my gorilla toes.
No.
What if I can learn to paint with them?
No. Yeah, I wouldn't get with a dude with an OnlyFans. I wouldn't get with a dude who is constantly posting shirtless selfies, or he's posting muscle-bound selfies to get attention on the internet.
Yeah.
Instagram dedicated to his gym bros selfies.
What if he was an influencer?
An influencer?
Like, what if he sold clothes? It's a job. We had all these discussions again.
Yeah,
we've had I'm curious.
So it depends. If he has like a legit clothing line and he's selling athletic wear and he uses his Instagram for that, and he's not interacting with inappropriate women in the comments, okay, dope. You are treating this as a business, as a profession. If you're doing it to get attention and you're trying to sell something that you're making in your garage and you're interacting with flirty comments to try and get your sales up, that's a problem. There's no integrity there for me.
You know that there's no difference in that social interaction where they're responding to women in terms of what they're doing compared to the women who work as servers or work as bartenders.
What do you mean?
The flirtatious activity to garner tips, to increase revenue is a thing.
Oh, I know. That's gross to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I know that's not selling your body. I still feel like that's selling a part of you.
No, yeah, you are. It's the be available but unattainable.
Let me be a little bit sexual with you, so you give me more money.
Yep. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to ask you, because this whole episode's a mess and I don't even know if it's going to get used. I have to edit it and see. Okay, let's say that you had two people that decided to like do that, to actually live for each other and put each other as a priority. What are some things that would happen to make you take that away? What are some things that could happen that would make you go, okay, this entire thing is not what I signed up for. He's clearly not actually putting me as a priority. And this is important, because this actually is part of the conversation that we needed to have earlier.
So we plan once a week. We go on dates Friday nights.
Okay.
And the last 3 weeks, Friday nights have been called off for whatever reason. But every Saturday night, he's going out with the boys.
Okay.
That's a problem.
Because it's showing you that he has more interest in going out with his friends than spending time with you. Okay.
So why haven't we rescheduled it? Why didn't we do it on Sunday? Why didn't you cancel boys' night Saturday and take me out since it's been 2 weeks?
That is actually what prioritizing your partner looks like.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Investing time in things that he's interested in, but when I bring up anything, he doesn't have the time to listen to it, or let alone engage in it with me.
So you mean like he tells you his hobbies and you're invested in it. And when you tell him your hobbies, he just kind of shuts it down.
So, for example, say he's into cars.
Okay.
And every other Sunday, we're going to car shows. We're doing whatever he wants to do. We're picking up cars. We're getting whatever tools he needs, whatever parts he needs. Like, he's restoring whatever he's doing. Like, he's in the hobby.
Okay.
And that is something I'm also invested in because it's something he enjoys doing. So that is a priority in my life because he cares about it and I care about him. And then say I'm into antique book hunting. And every Thursday night, that's something I enjoy doing. And every time I bring it up, I don't care about old books. You still read. You should get a Kindle. Anytime that I would invite him to go out, it's turned down. Why am I investing all of my time into something you're interested in when you can't even take an hour to walk around with me?
Are you saying in that scenario that you weren't really into cars in the beginning, but you did it for him because of
Right.
it? Okay. See, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Okay.
Because I was about to say, if you were also into cars and you guys share that hobby, that scenario doesn't quite work for me because
It's a bonding
you are,
experience.
yeah, you're into it versus learning about it for the sake of him. I wouldn't want to walk around a bookstore for 2 hours.
Right.
I would go, and I mean, maybe at least once a month. But if that was something that you did on a weekly basis for 2 hours at a time, it would get real fucking boring for me.
Right. Once a month
Yeah.
is
Not,
tolerable.
right. Not that even matters because you don't do that, but
Right.
it's just one of those things that in thinking about it, like people have their passions and some people are willing to do more for their partner than the other persons are. And it depends on what they are. Like if we're at home and I'm on a computer researching something and you're on the computer researching plants, we are together and we can have conversations while we're both researching our shit and we can have quality time, even though our hobbies are in two different places. I could be looking at new camera lenses and you can be looking at plants. And I could be like, babe, they got an 85 millimeter 1.2 Sony E-mount, new full frame, blah, 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 blah. And you can be like, I just found this elephant ear, blah, 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 blah. We're still interacting and we're there for each other. And like, we can have those conversations, but we're not stuck somewhere where you're looking at something and I'm sitting down. If we went to the camera store and I spent 2 hours in the camera store, every time I went and you waited for me in the vehicle, you would not want to go.
I would still go.
You would get so miserable sitting in the car waiting on me every time we went.
No, I'd get stoned and watch something on Netflix.
Yeah. It's so easy.
I'm an easy person.
Yeah.
When it comes to you, yeah.
I don't know if I would want to do that. I honestly don't know if I would sit in the car for 2 hours.
I could knit. I could read.
Yeah.
I could take a nap.
I could do that. Actually, I don't know. I think that as long as the AC was running, I think I would be okay. You can just leave the AC on. I'm like a dog. Leave me a bowl of water and leave the AC on. As long as I got my phone, I'm entertained.
Some car snacks.
But I would rather you come with me. Like when we go to the camera store and you're like, okay, I'm done standing, we leave. Like I know we do. Yeah. I know at that point it's time to wrap it up. You don't want to fucking be here anymore. It's a social cue.
It's not that I don't want to be there anymore. Like we can still stay within the vicinity. I'm tired of standing.
Right. But
yeah.
that normally happens after I've been there for 45 minutes looking at shit I don't need to buy. I don't do well in camera stores.
I did a really good job making that TikTok.
You really did. You really did.
I think that's the greatest thing I've ever made.
Yeah. Just because of the interaction that I had with myself all the way through the bottom of it. Because there's like 15 comments there for me.
Right. It was so relevant to my life and it's perfect. I really feel like it encapsulates a very specific part of my life that I enjoy. It's great. It was fun for me.
What are we going to call this?
I have no idea.
Because this is not at all what we sat down to do.
No, this is still a side piece. We're saying our opinions on stuff.
Call it the shit show. Because it's been a shit show.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I do want to call it and take a break. It's almost 1.
Okay.
So I'd like to take a break and regather my composure. I'm in a much better mood now.
I'm glad.
So in the event that we sit back down and do another side piece, because there is another conversation that needs to be done, maybe we can stay on topic.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
No.
You gonna call it?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.